Hi, my name is Brad Underwood. This is a quick presentation on Galileo Mining. We are an ASX listed company focused on nickel, copper and cobalt in the Tier 1 mining jurisdiction of Western Australia. That's our standard disclaimer. And a quick slide on the overall summary of our company. As at the 30th of September, we had $7.7 million in cash. We are particularly well funded for a junior exploration company. We have high value nickel targets in the Fraser Range province of Western Australia. We have active nickel, copper, cobalt, and also some gold exploration at our Norseman Project, which is in Western Australia. And as I just mentioned, everything is in Western Australia. We're focused on operating in Tier 1 mining jurisdictions. And because we've operated and lived in Western Australia for a long time, and for some of us, we are native to Western Australia, we feel like we have a home advantage in this state. We have a pre-discovery market valuation and are highly leveraged to success. Our mining entrepreneur, Mark Creasy, is the founder and major shareholder. On this slide, we have a corporate snapshot of our share price over the last 6 months. As it did most companies, we dropped to around 10 cents back in March. But when we came back on the recovery from the coronavirus, at least in Western Australia, we were able to raise an additional $5 million in cash in late April. Since then, we've traded up and down on the back of our drilling programs. We are a junior exploration company, very much focused on drilling, and that is what drives our share price. We have 143 million shares on issue, a market cap of around $30 million, depending on the price of the day. Mark Creasy has 26% of the company, and also importantly to note that IGO, who are the owner and operator of the Nova mine in the Fraser Range, have around 9% of our company as well. So they're very much focused on the Fraser Range. It's where their major asset is, and they came in the recent placement and are supporting what we do in that area. We have two locations within Western Australia, the Norseman Project and the Fraser Range Project. The Fraser Range is a developing nickel province. It has two significant deposits so far discovered. One has been mined at Nova, and the second is the Silvernite deposit, which is a privately owned resource owned by the Creasy Group. We have our developing drill targets at the Lantern Prospect and the Delta Blues Prospect. And these are a long strike from another company which has enjoyed some success in the Fraser Range. That company is called Legend Mining. It's also a Creasy affiliated company. And on the back of their drilling results over the past year, they have seen their share price appreciate from 2 cents to over 12 cents. It shows that the market is appreciating the quality discoveries that can be made in the Fraser Range. And of course, the best example is the Nova discovery, which was found in 2012, which saw the company which made that discovery appreciate from 6 cents to over $4. And eventually they were taken out in a $1.8 billion transaction by IGO, who now own and operate that mine site. So it's an exciting area to be exploring. And as well as that, we also have our Norseman Project. We have an existing JORC compliant nickel and cobalt laterite resource at that location. And we have ongoing nickel, cobalt and gold exploration. The Fraser Range nickel belt, it's a great place to be exploring because of the value that can be created through discoveries that are made in the area. The Nova nickel mine has 14 million tonne resource when it's started mining. The Silvernite deposit has a 4 million tonne resource, and these figures are important because on the next slide, I'll show you the potential of the Fraser Range. And the best way to understand is to compare the global analogies for similar nickel belts around the world. And the best example we have when we are matching the Fraser Range against global analogies is the Thompson nickel belt in Canada. It has a very similar strike length, over 100 kilometers. The Thompson belt on the left of the screen, you'll see there's 140 million tonnes of known resources. We compare that with the Fraser Range, similar scale, but less than 18 million tonnes of known resources. And the key difference is the amount of time and effort that have gone into these respective provinces. There's been over 50 years of exploration and mining in the Thompson Nickel Belt. We compare that with the Fraser Range, which the Nova discovery was made in 2012. We've had just 8 years of exploration and mining in that area. So I'd expect to see over the next few decades and over the next few years, a number of discoveries made in the Fraser Range as the potential of the area is developed. At our Lantern prospect, this is a particularly active exploration zone. We have ourselves, we have a company called Legend Mining and another company called S2 Resources, as well as the Creasy Group and IGO, all exploring in the same area. And the reason is simple. It's because it's very prospective. There are a lot of good signs for nickel in this area, and we are following up with our work that we're doing at the Lantern prospect. We've only been working this area for the last 18 months. We've already come across a nickel mineralisation. It's disseminated, relatively low grade, but it's the first indication that we have a mineralised system that is capable of producing what we are really chasing. And of course, what we are chasing are high-grade nickel intercepts. Our first diamond drilling program in the Northern Fraser Range area was undertaken in September of this year. We hit 23 meters of heavily disseminated mineralization in one hole. And another hole at 1.5 kilometers away, we hit 16 meters of disseminated sulfides within a large zone of additional disseminated sulfides, which were mostly pyrrhotite. So where we had the heavily disseminated zone at our Lantern South prospect, we had 23 meters at 0.2% nickel and about 0.14% copper. This is the first step in understanding the prospectivity of the region. We know that the rocks have the ability to contain nickel and copper. And what we are doing now is going back and looking for areas within the prospect which have the most potential to host significant economic deposits. We have been particularly encouraged by a very small band of massive sulfide that you can see on the lower left-hand part of the slide. That graded 4.6% nickel and 2.2% copper. And why that is encouraging, even though it's small, is that it's telling us the geological systems operating in the area can produce high-grade sulfides. So it hasn't just produced disseminated sulfides, it was also produced a small amount of massive sulfide, and it gives us encouragement to believe that there are other areas within this prospect that have more massive sulfide, and hopefully that massive sulfide will be containing similar grades. Our Lantern East prospect, this is an EM target about 1.5 kilometers away from the Lantern South prospect. Very simple naming methodology. We have a large intrusion in the middle and we go around it. So north, east, and south are the various prospects we've got in that area. At Lantern East, we have drilled one diamond hole. It hit a large amount of disseminated sulfide mineralization. And we think that that might represent a halo zone to a more massive component of sulfides. And why we think that is because we have a particularly conductive response in the ground. Sulfide mineralization responds well to electric currents run through the earth. And then we model that response, come up with a target and go and drill it. So that's what we're in the process of doing now. On the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see that we have our EM targets ready to go, and those will be drilled as soon as we're able to secure a drilling rig. Our Delta Blues prospect is earlier stage. We need to do more work on this to bring it along to get it drill ready, and we expect to have that done over the next year. We are also engaging in large-scale, widespread EM surveys. And the idea is to build up a pipeline of targets for drill testing. So we have our advanced targets at Lantern East and Lantern South. We also have the Lantern North target, which is slightly deeper, and we're building up a pipeline so that we will have many more targets to drill test next year. A Norseman project is very close to the town of Norseman, where there's an operating gold mine. We currently have a 25 million tonne laterite resource, and we are in the process of completing soil sampling to build up this area for more drilling next year. We pride ourselves in the amount of drilling that we undertake. In the 2 years since we've listed, we've completed 13 drilling programs. So we typically do 4 to 5 campaign-style drilling programs each year. And the reason for that is very simple. We have an emphasis on drilling programs because to us, it's the best method to create lasting value through resource discovery. We have 7.7 million in cash. We are highly leveraged to success. Our market cap is just $31 million. Our Fraser Range assets have the potential to deliver highly valuable results. And we are a very active explorer, undertaking a number of drilling programs each year with the aim of making discovery and creating wealth.